Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the SportsPage podcast. Here with your hosts Ian and Cameron, and this week we'll be previewing the NFL playoffs for 2019. So let's hop right into that. First game, we have the Colts Texans. That's tomorrow night at 4:30. I picked the Colts to win this game. I think while they're on the road, I think the O-line combined with Andrew Luck should be able to fend off that pass rush of the Houston Texans D-line with J.J. Watt and Merciless and Clowney and all them. I think Andrew Luck will be able to have enough time in the pocket to move the ball pretty well against the Texans. What do you think, Cameron?
I agree. I think Colts will go on the road and win this one narrowly, based on the fact that they went down to Houston just a few weeks ago and went and got a close win. My main reason for choosing the Colts or the Texans, I mean, they're both pretty evenly matched in my opinion, but I'm just going to side with the fact that Andrew Luck at this point is a better quarterback than Deshaun Watson. I think Deshaun Watson still has a little bit more maturing to do as far as a passer and as a I don't want to question his leadership, but I just feel like Andrew Luck's a better leader than Watson is at this point. I feel like he elevates his team's play a bit more. So I see the Colts barely edging out the Texans in this one. But I mean, honestly, it could go either way. The Texans will need a big play, and it could be their game as well. So it should be a good one. Should be a good one to start us off.
But Deshaun Watson is really good.
He is.
If he had the O-line that Andrew Luck had, this game will definitely go in the Texans' favor. If he had that.
Sure, but another thing I've seen watching Deshaun Watson this season, he's a little antsy in the pocket. The reason why he has so many rushing yards is because a lot of times he tends to tuck and run a little bit fast, which, with time he'll learn to stand in the pocket a little bit more. I know his O-line's not good.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say.
But a lot of times he does have more time than he realizes. Because the O-line isn't going to give it up instantly on every single snap.
They're not doing a lot.
They're
not doing much more than that.
A lot of times he has to stand in there and just see what he has. Sometimes he'll just snap the ball. He'll take his drop back. He'll look at one receiver and then he'll just run. I've seen it many times. And I mean, not that that's a bad thing, but I just feel like there's a potential for more plays. And combined with the fact that they just lost Demaryius Thomas, they haven't had Fuller all season pretty much. I just feel like they don't have enough this year.
They got D-Hop, but who are the other receivers?
They're hoping QT could play.
Although the Colts secondary is not the best. You don't really need to have.
Yeah, I mean, it's all right. The Colts defense is formidable, but
Darius Leonard's really key for them this year, for sure.
I just think the Colts are just one step ahead of the Texans this year. But
it
should be a good divisional battle in the next few years, even potentially longer. We're looking at two possible dynasties here in the AFC South.
That's true.
Could be good for a long time.
Texans, if they can figure out how to muster up an O-line and keep Clowney and Watt around, I mean, they'd be definitely a force to reckon with.
I mean, those are two really good quarterbacks. I think we're going to see this be a competitive division for the next 10 years.
Yeah, it should be a good game, though. That game did happen 3 weeks ago, so in Houston, I think.
Yep.
So it should be very good. That game was very good last time. So next up, we have Seahawks-Cowboys in Dallas. Now, these are two teams. They're pretty similar. They have pretty similar play styles.
Yes.
Run the ball down your throat 30 times a game. Have very solid defenses.
I like Cowboys are, albeit a little bit better, defensive side of the ball. That goes without saying.
But they both have similar play styles. It'll be interesting to see who can end up running better. Who did I pick in this game? I picked the Seahawks to win this game. What about you?
I also did.
You also did? Okay.
My reasoning for that being, the Cowboys are a more talented roster. I mean, there's no hiding that. They definitely have more talent on that defense, and their O-line's definitely better than the Seahawks. But the Seahawks, I've been watching the Seahawks a lot this season. The kind of run scheme they run they run a lot of 6 O-lineman packages, which is really cool. I mean, that's really, you don't see that very often.
So instead of a tight end, they have an O-lineman out there. Okay.
Yeah, it's pretty interesting.
They run the ball a lot, so I guess they could get another big boy up there.
Yeah, so they're very similar teams. I mean, obviously Amari Cooper is obviously a stud at this point, but as far as on the offensive side of the ball, they're pretty evenly matched, at least in the run game. Defensive side, Cowboys are more talented defense, but Seahawks still play really hard. They're gonna have a hard time containing Zeke. Another thing, just like the last game we just talked about, I'm just gonna have to go with the better quarterback. It's gonna be a close game down the stretch. Cowboys at home, and I just think Russell Wilson is just magical in the fourth quarter.
Yeah, that's how it comes down to.
Russell Wilson's just gonna take over, and he's gonna go win that game.
Who do you trust more in a close game in the playoffs, Dak Prescott or Russell Wilson? I think everyone is gonna take Russell Wilson in that spot.
Russell Wilson's gonna go win that game for them.
That's ultimately why I picked the Seahawks, just because of Russell Wilson. Russell Wilson's leaps and bounds ahead of Dak Prescott. I don't trust Dak. I don't think I'll ever trust Dak in the playoffs much. Because he'll have to go in and throw the ball a little bit, and he can, but I just think Russell Wilson, it just comes down to Dak Prescott versus Russell Wilson, and Russell Wilson's going to win that matchup every single time.
Yeah, it's probably going to be a low-scoring game, kind of grind it out, maybe down the stretch going to the fourth, it might be 13-10.
It'll be like
something like that.
2017.
I think it's going to be one of those games where you're going to see in the fourth quarter, it's kind of quiet the first three quarters, and the fourth quarter is just going to be an explosion. We've seen it before where it's just super quiet, and all of a sudden the fourth quarter, the score will be 17-14 just in that quarter. I think it could be a game like that when both teams are going to have to realize that they're going to have to actually do something if they're going to want to win the game. Yeah, I think we might see that happen. Should be a good one.
Definitely. Anything else with that team? With those two?
No? I don't think so.
No? Okay, so then that concludes Saturday. So that should be a good day of football. And then Sunday next day, starting at 1, is Chargers-Ravens.
This game scares me.
This game is a trap game. And all these games, either could win, honestly. Every single one of these games.
That's debatable.
Oh, yes, we'll get into that. But the Chargers and the Ravens are red hot right now. They just beat the Browns last week. Since Lamar Jackson has shown up, they're, I think, leading the league in rushing. Is that right? Does that sound right?
Over the last 7 weeks.
Since Lamar Jackson's
for the season, Seahawks are still leading it.
But
you can't deny what the Ravens have done for running the ball. It's been unbelievable.
It's been crazy. Yeah. So Ravens end up with home field in this game, even though they have the worst record, which is another cause for debate.
I don't think so.
Do you think we'll get into the game in a second, but actually I want to ask you this question.
I've seen this brought up.
Do you want to make it in NFL, instead of having home field decided on seeding, instead more like the NBA? Is that how it works in the NBA?
Yes.
Record, whoever has the better record
yes.
is at home. That's how they do it in the NBA?
Yes.
Do you think they should do it like that? Because the Chargers, they're 11-5.
They should beat the Chiefs the second time.
And they're a 5 seed. That's
great. Win the division.
Yes.
You should be rewarded for winning your division.
Yes, but they shouldn't be punished for going 11-5.
Well, they should have beat the Chiefs the first time, and then they would have won the division.
They beat Chiefs in Arrowhead.
Okay, great.
The second time.
They didn't win the division.
I don't know. I kind of think I should change it. It doesn't make any sense to me.
That would be stupid, though, because then what's even the point of winning your division if it's not going to get you anywhere? I mean, it would take... Divisional games are always close, and they're always gritty and tough. It would take a lot out of that, because winning the division guarantees you a playoff spot and at least one home game. So I think it would take kind of, that feeling during the division games in the regular season. I would take that kind of intense feeling in those games kind of away.
I don't think it would necessarily, because
I think it would.
You could do it.
It wouldn't be the same.
It would still incentivize you to win the division, because if you win the division, you get a home game. Whoever has the better record between the two teams would win the home games. Would get the home games.
I just think winning division.
If you have a better record than another team in your division, then you have the home game, and if you have the better record for the tiebreaker, then you get the home game. That makes sense in my mind.
They can't take away winning the division.
I'm not taking away the division. I'm saying.
But what's the point of winning the division if it doesn't get you anything?
It gets you home field advantage as well as
potentially not. What if you go 8-8, win the division, and then it's like, oh, now you're a 6 seed?
I know what you're talking about now. You're talking about one team going 9-7, one team going like this game. You're talking about this.
Yeah.
Ravens won their division and Chargers didn't. Okay.
It's like the Ravens did all this, they had the great run, after they put in Lamar Jackson. Of course, that was because Flacco was injured. But they made this great run, the second half of the season. and that would all kind of be like wasted. They did all this to win the division, narrowly beating out the Steelers, and then they'd be a 6 seed. It's like,
but that's how the NBA is. Essentially,
Yeah.
there's no divisions in the NBA. There's just seeding.
but in the NBA, there's just so many games, and like your division opponents are kind of whatever. They're just kind of there to have some kind of organization. The NFL is, I think, a lot different because there's so like few games that it's just the games hold more meaning, a lot more meaning than the NBA.
Well, yeah, they play less. They play but much less. It's only a 3-month season.
I think it should stay how it is. I don't see a problem with
It definitely should be something that should be, I think, at least considered from the office.
it. I don't think so.
Roger Goodell and all them.
I think they should shoot down any kind of attempts to change this format. I don't see a problem with it. You should be rewarded with a home game for winning your division, no matter what.
No. I think the better team. I think the team with the better record should be at
So
home.
you're saying the Chargers should be at home for this game?
Yes, but although it would not matter because their home field advantage is not home field
All that
advantage.
aside, you think the Chargers should be at home for this game?
Yeah, they have a better record than the Ravens. That's why.
And
That
just seems awful to me.
That's how it comes down to it. I think.
The Chargers aren't a division winner. That doesn't seem right to me.
But
How are you going to make the division winner go on the road?
But they. Okay, we're gonna move on.
Exactly.
No, but like they're a better team. They have a better record. They have a better
So
record.
they should have
That's
won
what
the
it comes
division.
down
So
to.
what?
They won against the Chiefs. The Chiefs were amazing this year.
Okay, the Chiefs won the division. They should have beat the Chiefs the first time, and they would have won the division.
I don't think a team that goes 11-5 should be punished.
They're not punished.
They're kind of being punished.
Not really.
But with the Chargers, I think since they really don't have a home field advantage, they're
actually better on the road.
They're actually
they're,
are better.
They're 7-1
They're
on the
better
road.
on the road than at home, which is something interesting. All right, so we're gonna move on from that whole debacle there.
Actually, talk about the game.
Yeah. So this is interesting. Even though I've said all these things, and I've been on the Chargers all year, how they have probably one of the best rosters in the league, I think maybe even the best roster in the league, just talent wise. I think I don't love the pick that I picked. I don't love it, but I think the Ravens will be able to edge it out, strictly because of how hot the Ravens are, and they're at home, and they have Lamar Jackson, and they have that running game, and the Chargers I don't think are amazing in the run. Is that right?
They're okay.
I think.
Well, when they played just a few weeks ago.
Oh, and the defense. There you go. That's what I was going to talk about. The defense. So that running game coupled with the defense. Philip Rivers has been known in the past to be a gunslinger. He's a gunslinger. He'll throw for 400 yards, 2 touchdowns, and 3 picks. I think Philip Rivers doesn't help their case out because he'll throw 1 or 2 picks in this game to that defense, and that'll put them down a few possessions. That's why I picked this. That's why I picked them to win. I think the Chargers have more talent, but I think the Philip Rivers will go in and throw 2 picks, maybe in the first half, and that'll put them down too much to come back. Lamar Jackson, he's probably going to throw 10 times in the game, 12 times.
Yeah, I mean,
they have a small window the Chargers have a small window to capitalize on those small attempts to get a pick or something. They're going to have to force a fumble or do something like that. So I think Ravens will just be in control of this game just off of turnovers. That's why I think they're going to win.
The Chargers are an okay run defense. They played just a few weeks ago. Of course, Ravens won that game 22-10 in LA.
Soccer Stadium.
They did, however, the Chargers did hold Lamar Jackson to only 3 yards per carry. I think he was 13 for 39 or 12 for 36, something like that.
Yeah, that sounds right.
But I want to say it was Gus Edwards that game who ran for 6 yards a carry. So they managed to contain Lamar Jackson, but on the other hand, they let the running back go wild. So, I mean, it'll be interesting to see what kind of they make in this game.
That's weird.
All right, so we had a little audio issue. I think we're good now. It'd be interesting to see what kind of adjustment they make, see if they can kind of balance that, maybe keep them both in check. The only fear I would have with the Ravens is being that they played so recently. I don't think this would happen, but I just hope that Harbaugh doesn't think that the Chargers have figured out the run game since they've seen it now, and that he's going to try to throw a bunch because that's definitely
that's definitely not the way to go with Lamar Jackson.
Of course it's not, but I just get the fear that Harbaugh is going to try to get fancy But I don't think that'll happen.
think
But
that'll
that's a possibility.
It's possible.
I wouldn't be surprised if that happens. If the Ravens suddenly come out and you see them try to throw more to try to catch the Chargers off guard.
I don't think they'll do that just because they've been running the ball so well. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. Like that's kind of the mentality they're gonna go in with that. Who do you have winning this game?
I have the Ravens.
You do have the Ravens.
I don't feel great about it, but I have the Ravens.
On the other side, the Chargers, they have one of the most their offense is full of firepower. Their defense is pretty good. They have that great pass rush, Melvin Ingram, Joey Bosa.
So the Ravens don't pass, so
they have. Well, pass rush still counts for something.
Yeah.
They have a good secondary. They have a good secondary. Derwin James and Casey Hayward. But I just that's why I think on turnovers, Ravens are going to win this game, and at home and all that fire they're going to have.
Defense wins championships.
Yeah, I guess. Okay. I don't love that debate, but it makes sense.
Yeah, I don't either. I'm not confident about that pick, but
that's what it is. Okay, so this is the one I know you want to talk about this game.
Yeah,
I know you.
All right, I'm gonna go first on this one.
So Eagles Bears. We're gonna talk about Eagles Bears. Last game on Sunday, 4:40. Go.
All right, so I know everyone thinks Nick Foles is like some magical man in December and whatever. And I know I doubted Nick Foles and the Eagles last year, and I want to apologize for that because everyone we doubted the Eagles, but now this year people think like it's magically just gonna happen again. We need to slow our roll here. I don't think it's gonna happen again. I think the Bears are going to win this game easily. I don't see any contest from the Eagles. Now, we could be here next week, and I might be apologizing to the Eagles fan base once again. And then people are going to be losing it, thinking that they're going to go and beat who they play, the Saints. Yeah, they play the Saints.
Win, they play the Saints that week.
So yeah, people will be sitting here being, they're going to beat the Saints, and then I'll be here again next week saying we need to slow our roll, and then maybe the next week after I'll be apologizing again. But who knows?
This team it's feisty. It's a feisty team.
But going back to it, I don't think the Eagles have any chance in this game. I don't see it.
Yeah, I pretty much disagree wholeheartedly with that. You obviously picked the Bears to win this game at home in Chicago and the defense and blah, blah, blah. I have the Eagles upsetting the Bears. They're a lower seed, right?
Yes.
Yeah, because the Bears won the division. I have the Eagles upsetting the Bears for a few reasons. One, the O-line play for the Eagles, while it's dropped off from last year's season, it's still pretty good. It'll be able to limit, not stop in any way, but it will be able to at least slow down Khalil Mack and Akeem Hicks and whoever their defensive line. Who else do they have?
It's Mack, Hicks, Eddie Goldman's in there, Aaron Lynch. I'm not sure if he's playing. He's been on the injury report recently. The other thing is Eddie Jackson might not play. I don't know. I'm gonna check on him right now.
That'd be big, but I think the O-line for the Eagles will be able to give Nick Foles enough protection to get him to throw the ball down the field. And like you said, I for whatever reason Nick Foles just turns it up in December and January. So I think he'll be able to do some things, maybe with Alshon Jeffrey, Aguilar for a long touchdown, because he seems to do for those types of things. And then even their running game is getting going pretty well last few weeks with Josh Adams and all those RPOs that they're running. I looked at this game initially and I'm like, the Bears will win easily. But then I started looking at it and I'm like, the Eagles are hot right now, and they have that good, solid foundation with up front, and honestly, I trust Nick Foles more than Trubisky, just because Trubisky has been so inconsistent this year. Inconsistent.
That's valid, but the Eagles' secondary right now is Swiss cheese.
It is really bad.
You could drop Chase Daniel out there and he'll carve him up. So
I think so. And then to the defensive side for the Eagles, their front seven is really good too with all those pass rushers. Fletcher Cox. What is going on out there? Fletcher Cox. All those guys. Gruger Hill and Jordan Hicks.
Gruger Hill, that's who you bring up?
I don't know. The front seven for the Eagles has played really well this year. And I think if they end up taking away Trubisky's first read, because he's a first read quarterback, if he sees that first read covered, he just runs.
Yep.
So if they find a way to keep a linebacker over in his first read and have him dip, the other big boys up front to be able to go get him, and
If they keep contained.
If they keep contained, exactly. I think that they'll be able to keep Trubisky in check. That's why I think the Eagles are going to win.
They got to. I mean, their run defense is still really good. So I mean, Jordan Howard's been actually playing pretty well in the last few weeks. They've been utilizing him well. So we'll see how Jordan Howard does. Tariq Cohen's going to be the X factor in that game.
All the misdirection, all that.
If Tariq Cohen, runs all over them, it's definitely going to be a loss. I mean, I guess the Eagles could win this game, but I just don't see it.
You don't?
I don't. I see the Bears winning, I don't know, 24-10.
You
It
don't
shouldn't be close.
Shouldn't be close.
24-13 maybe.
I don't know. I'm kind of feeling the Eagles right now. They're playing. They're hot.
I think everyone's feeling the Eagles.
I know, but I'm not feeling Trubisky. That's all. I don't like Trubisky really at all. So
People keep underestimating that defense of the Bears.
No one's underestimating the defense of the Bears. Everyone loves that defense.
So how many points do you think the Eagles can put up against that defense?
I think they put up 21.
Is that enough?
24. I don't know, but Trubisky's not going to...
You think they can put up 20... You think they can put up 3 touchdowns against the Bears?
Yeah. I think they'll put up 21 or 24, and they'll win it. I think they'll probably win it 24-21. Something like that. Trubisky can't put... They're not going to be able to put up 30 points.
You realize the Bears are like a top 8 scoring team in the league, right?
I don't trust Trubisky.
The Bears find a way to put up points. I mean,
because they have pick sixes every game and fumble sixes. That's why.
And they're going to get one in this game.
That's how they put up. Maybe. I don't. You don't know. You never know.
There's no way the Eagles are going to put up.
I don't see Trubisky putting up 30. I just don't see it. I think Nick Foles can put up 30. Nick Foles and that offense can put up 30. No. They can put up just more. They'll be able to squeak by.
I don't know. The Eagles aren't going to get over 17. There's not a chance they get over 17 points.
I think 24-21 would be a good score for that game. I think that would be Eagles win. I know.
I don't think the Eagles make it over 17. And the Bears can definitely put up 20.
Yeah, that's why I said they're going to put up 20. They're going to 24-21. That's what you're going to do.
The Eagles at most will get 17. I don't think they'll get 17, but at most.
No, well, I guess we'll have to find out and see. It's the last game of the weekend, so it should be. All these games look really good. This is going to be a really fun playoffs, I think.
It is.
Anything else you want to talk about?
And we could just go over kind of these bye week teams and kind of what we see for them.
Oh, their Super Bowl chances?
Yeah.
Things like that? All right, so who do you want to go start with?
Let's start with the Saints.
The Saints?
Saints, we both have the Saints going to the Super Bowl and winning.
So we feel pretty good about that.
Yeah, we feel pretty good about the Saints. The only real threat, I think, to the Saints would be the Chiefs in the Super Bowl, obviously, just because the Chiefs have the firepower to match. I mean, the Saints' defense is decent, and that offense is just so efficient. I don't see a team in the Saints' path that's just going to stop them. Like, I mean, the Bears' defense could be interesting, but the Saints will be home, and the Saints. That's a big reason I'm so confident in them is because they're going to be in a dome this whole playoffs, which is where they're comfortable. They'll be in New Orleans for these first 2 games.
Yep, and then
the first 2 games, and then they go to Super Bowl. They'll go to Atlanta.
They're gonna be in a dome there too.
They'll be in a dome, and New Orleans fans will travel, so they're gonna have good support the whole way through. I just don't see them losing.
You don't see them. I think the Saints. Obviously, I have them as a Super Bowl pick as well. Pretty much the same thing. Well, I do think you give the Rams or one of these teams, Rams, Chiefs, Patriots, they could all win. They could all keep up with the Saints. Maybe not the Patriots, but the Rams I think could keep up. But Saints, a clear-cut favorite.
Yeah,
I think.
That could be a good game.
I think they're the favorite in the NFC. I do have them.
Because, the Saints and Rams had a pretty close game. I think the Rams just kind of hadn't gotten really a really competitive game all season. So it was kind of a wake-up call for them to play the Saints back when they did. In
when was that?
Week 10 or something like that. Somewhere around there. It was middle of the season.
Yeah, so we have those. We both have them as the Super Bowl champions this year. But all right, so let's go on to the Rams. They're on bye this week as well. They've shown some weaknesses the last few weeks. They're coming in.
Well, the weakness is that Jared Goff will not throw a check down. That's a weakness. But I think with this time off, I think McVay will get him right, and we're going to see the Rams offense be more dynamic than it's been. I think we're going to see a good Rams offense coming in here.
I think the Week 17 game where they had to actually play, and they put up, I think, like 48.
Yeah.
I think that helped out his confidence going in. Especially,
it was against the Niners, and Jared Goff was able to be a gunslinger like he wants to be. Because I mean, that's how you beat Jared Goff. As the Eagles did it, the Bears do it. You play back and you make him throw the check down because Jared Goff's just used to throwing the big play, the play action, just sitting back in the pocket, chilling, and then just hitting a strike downfield. Because I mean, his receivers are talented, and they have such good passing concepts that it gets people open. Mm-hmm. But those deep over routes, that's like so popular now in the NFL. That just puts those linebackers in a bind. So if you don't have speedy, good coverage linebackers, which is hard to get, it's very rare. It's hard to get.
It's not that rare, but
you can get fast linebackers, but ones that can cover and are smart in their zone coverage is extremely difficult. Mm-hmm. So it's very hard to guard. So,
but their defense that's somewhat of a concern.
Yeah,
secondary's not great. Marcus Peters, Keith Lee, they're kind of okay. Been okay this year. Aaron Donald's obviously amazing, so they're gonna have. I mean, he'll do some things. He'll show up in the fourth quarter if they need him. So Saints or Rams.
I think the Rams got a chance.
The Rams have a good chance in this playoffs for sure. Let's talk about the Chiefs first because they're ranked number 1. The Chiefs. Patrick Mahomes is amazing. I think that's clear.
Yeah, pretty good.
I think the defense is actually. I think this team is really good. Is really talented. I don't think they have the best defense, but I think they have a good enough pass rush to be able to overcome.
That's about all they got going for them.
Overcome their lack of secondary. They have D4.
The pass rush is the only thing good about that defense. Everything else is
that's a big
terrible.
factor. It's a big factor in football games, pass rush. So I think the Chiefs, they can keep up with anyone. The pass rush is just so good that I think they can keep up with anyone. These teams they're good.
Yeah, Chiefs and Saints are good. That's my Super Bowl right there, Chiefs Saints.
All right, so Patriots. So this team coming in has
not looking great.
Not great.
They're squeaking into a first round
bye.
But
I have them in the Super Bowl because of just the scheme. Just because they're the Patriots and they're going to be playing in. Well, they may not be playing in Foxborough every week. They're not going to be if they win.
If they have to play the Chiefs,
if they have to play the Chiefs, they're going to Arrowhead. But I think the Patriots, if they beat the winner of Chargers-Ravens, they will be able to scheme for the Chiefs if they win that game. You think that?
What do you mean scheme for the Chiefs?
Like, so if the Chiefs beat the winner of Colts-Texans...
You're saying if they meet in the AFC Championship.
If they meet in the AFC Championship, I think the Patriots can out-scheme the Chiefs. Which may not happen. Maybe Mahomes just goes, screw the scheme, I'm going to throw for 400 yards and 4 touchdowns. The team is not great, I know, but it's Bill Belichick and Tom Brady in the playoffs. It's hard to pick against them. This year, every year you come in and people say, "Oh, they're not looking great this year," and then they come in. And
the thing is, though, who's been the consistent threat to the Patriots though in the AFC? It's been the Steelers every year. Steelers aren't here.
Yeah.
Last year, of course, was Jacksonville in the AFC Championship. I mean, that's because the Steelers are a disappointment, just like always what they've been the last few years. But it's always been the Steelers. They've never had a real threat to beat them.
That's true.
The Patriots have always had a relatively easy road the last few years.
It's been Patriots-Steelers in the AFC Championship.
Of course, the Patriots didn't really need a threat, going back probably 5+ years because Brady was still, in his prime. He still had, all the arm strength in the world. That was a very talented roster. Gronk was still young. They had, even going back far enough, they had Randy Moss. They've always had good receiving core. You go back to Danny Woodhead out of the backfield. That's like the James White that they have now. You go back and you have Wes Welker even. So I mean, they were always really dominant, of course, but now it's kind of deteriorating. Now they haven't really had a threat the last few years. It's really been the Steelers, but now they actually have.
Now they have legitimate threats in the AFC.
I think the Chiefs will take them down.
You do, yeah. So Patriots, they have some weaknesses, but I just pick them just because of Bill Belichick and Tom Brady in the playoffs. They thrive. That's what they're here. They have 5 rings for a reason. So yeah, but these playoff games look like the best playoff games we've had in the last good 2-3 years.
It's wide open, honestly. It really is.
That's the thing. We have the Saints Super Bowl champions.
Yeah.
But I think pretty much every one of these teams could get the Super Bowl. It's really hard to see.
Every single team in this, every single team in this bracket, I think, could win the Super Bowl outside of, I would say probably the Cowboys and the Ravens. Everyone besides Cowboys and Ravens, I think, could win the Super Bowl.
I think everyone could win the Super Bowl, honestly.
You think the Ravens with a rookie quarterback and no pass game?
I think the defense is just that good.
And you think the Cowboys with Dak Prescott could win?
I mean, they have a good defense. That we're gonna have to see how good defense is, how much defenses actually matter. Every year it's been like defense win championships. But then the quarterback play is terrible. Jacksonville last year.
Yeah.
It's now these teams have decent quarterbacks with the good defense.
I think everyone but Cowboys and Ravens can win the Super Bowl.
It's going to be interesting who's going to win, high-powered offenses or that stacked defense. It's really an offense versus defense year. It should be fun.
Yeah, it'll be good.
All right, I think
that's why we love the NFL.
Yep, and then we gotta wait till when hopefully this never ends, but
it will.
It will end, and it'll be so boring.
In a month.
Don't remind us. We don't need to hear that. But yeah, it should be a lot of fun in the NFL playoffs. That's gonna wrap up our podcast. Unless you want to talk anything.
Just one thing I want to say though, if the Saints or the Patriots win the Super Bowl, Drew Brees or Brady, whichever team it is, I think will retire with the Super Bowl win.
Right off in the sunset?
Yep. I think it would be strange if they don't. I think it'd be strange if they don't.
That makes sense.
And even possibly if the Chargers win, I could see Philip Rivers doing the same. I think Rivers still has some left in the tank, though. So.
Rivers played really well this year.
And, of course, I still think Drew Brees has plenty left in the tank, but, I mean, he's getting old, and he's got young kids. I just think he wins a Super Bowl, I think Drew Brees is going to call it. He's gotten the records he wanted. He's already set the regular season completion percentage, anyway. I think he's got everything he wanted out of his career, and a Super Bowl ring would just cap it off.
Would be
perfectly.
Icing on the cake.
It would be.
Yeah. All right, well, thank you all for tuning in. We'll see you next week.